This is the Dremel 490 dustblower, and I think it's a neat and useful little attachment for the Dremel. This attachment blows away the dust so it does not build up when working. It improves the visibility and the workflow. I find it really helpful when engraving, using the workstation, or just to use it as a small fan. But there are some downsides to this little attachment that we will discuss later in the video. The 490 dustblower is actually just one of those black collet nuts with a plastic fan attached to it. This means that we can use it at the same time as other attachments. So, if I need to use it when I am engraving with the flex shaft, I can. Or if I'm making signs with the workstation. But this also means that you cannot use it at the same time as the multi-chuck. So, we have to go back to the collets when using the 490 dustblower. To attach it, we just put our collet in first and then screw on the attachment with our preferred bit. Because of the bigger radius of the fan, we don't need to use the wrench when changing bits. We can tighten and loosen with our hands, which makes it a little bit quicker. And now we have a fan that will blow away the dust for us. The power of the air coming from the fan will depend on the RPMs. The higher the RPMs, the more power you get. Now this attachment will definitely not replace an air compressor, but it is powerful enough to blow away small chunks of wood. The 490 fan is not useful in all situations. But here are some cases where I find this attachment to be really helpful. When engraving wood signs with a workstation, dust has a tendency to build up on the engraving and reduce the visibility. So I have to stop the Dremel to remove the dust. When using the 490 dustblower, I have a clear visibility and don't have to stop the Dremel until I am finished, which makes engraving way faster. We have the same situation when freehand engraving with the flex shaft. Dust will eventually build up and impair the visibility. For smaller projects, it is pretty quick to remove the dust in the old-fashioned way, so the dustblower is not completely necessary. But when you are working on something big, like for example making stars on a flag, it sure is nice to not have to stop working to remove the dust. The one downside is that we are forced to work at a steeper angle. We cannot tilt the Dremel too much because then the dustblower will touch and leave marks on the wood. We can counteract this a little bit by fastening the bit further out. Sometimes I just keep the fan attached to the Dremel flex shaft to use as a fan when working. It works great. I think the Dremel 490 dustblower is a great useful little attachment that is well worth the investment. It makes many tasks easier by giving us more visibility when working. So I would not hesitate to get this one.